At 82, I've learned many life lessons, but my biggest regret? Moving into a nursing home. When my daughter suggested it, everything sounded perfect. Professional care, social activities, and no more household worries. "Mom, you'll be safer there," she said. I believed her, but reality hit hard. That care meant losing control of my daily life. Those social activities couldn't replace meaningful connections. And that safety, it came at the cost of my independence. What nobody tells you is this: once you go in, getting out isn't as simple as you think. Before you or your loved ones make this life-changing decision, let me share 6 hard truths I wish someone had told me. Some will surprise you, especially number 4. If you're watching, please comment with your city and hit subscribe. Your support helps me continue sharing wisdom that might save you from my biggest regret. Now, let me tell you about the first thing I lost. 1. Loss of independence. The biggest shock after moving into the nursing home wasn't the small room or unfamiliar faces. It was losing control of my own life. Before the move, my days belonged to me. I'd wake up when I felt like it, sometimes at 6 a.m. to watch the sunrise, sometimes at 8 if I'd been up reading. Breakfast might be toast and coffee, or sometimes just fruit. If I wanted to take a walk at 10 a.m. or 3 p.m., I did. My house, my rules, my choices. Everything changed that first morning in the nursing home. A staff member walked in without knocking at 6:30 a.m. sharp. "Time for medication and breakfast," she announced. I wasn't ready to get up. I wasn't hungry. But my preferences didn't matter anymore. That's when it hit me. I no longer controlled the simplest parts of my day. Meals happened at set times. Activities were scheduled whether I was interested or not. Even bathroom visits sometimes required waiting for assistance. My neighbor Martha felt it too. She was a retired teacher who'd run her classroom with perfect timing for 40 years. "I can't even decide when to take a shower," she told me one day, her voice breaking. I've become a passenger in my own life. Some residents find small ways to hold on to independence. Bill keeps a stash of granola bars to eat on his own schedule. Susan insists on making her own bed, even when aides offer to do it. These tiny rebellions might seem small, but they're lifelines to the self-directed adults we once were. The hardest part? Watching how quickly you adapt. You stop asking if you can go outside when you want. You stop requesting foods you like. You learn to fit into their system, and in the process, you start to lose yourself. I miss choosing what to wear each day. I miss deciding when to call my friends. I miss the simple dignity of making my own cup of tea exactly how I like it. Are you ready to give up these small freedoms that make life yours? Because once they're gone, you'll be surprised how much you miss them. What parts of your daily routine would be hardest for you to surrender? Many viewers tell me it's their morning coffee ritual or evening walks. I'd love to hear what independence means in your daily life. 2. The reality of declining health. Before moving into the nursing home, I was quite active for 82. I wasn't running marathons, but I cooked my meals, tended my small garden, and walked to the corner store most days. My doctor always seemed pleased at my checkups. 6 months after moving in, I barely recognized myself. Simple things like getting out of a chair became challenging. Walking down the hallway left me winded. My muscles seemed to disappear before my eyes. It wasn't just age catching up with me. It was the nursing home lifestyle. When everything is done for you, your body quickly forgets how to do things for itself. Meals appear without effort. Housekeeping handles all chores. Even your laundry is washed and folded by someone else. The staff means well, but helping often means doing things completely for residents rather than supporting them to do things themselves. It's faster that way, more efficient for their schedules. But our bodies pay the price. I watched this happen to Alice, who moved in the same week I did. She was 79, vibrant, and walked everywhere. I've never driven a car in my life, she'd proudly tell anyone who'd listen. Within 3 months, she was using a walker. By 6 months, she rarely left her room. I don't know what happened, she confessed one day. It feels like I aged 10 years in just a few months. Research confirms what we experienced. A study in the Gerontologist found that nursing home residents lose physical abilities 3 times faster than seniors living independently. Our bodies follow the use it or lose it principle, regardless of age. Some residents fight back. Frank walks laps in the hallway every morning. Dorothy does chair exercises she learned from a physical therapist. I started doing simple strength movements while watching TV. These small efforts won't make us athletes, but they slow the decline. If you're considering a nursing home, ask about their approach to resident independence. Do they rush to help with everything, or do they encourage residents to do what they safely can? The difference can add years to your functional lifespan. Will you still have the motivation to keep your body strong when everything is set up for convenience? Because once you slow down, getting back up becomes twice as hard. What daily physical activities keep you strong now? Have you thought about how you'd maintain them if your living situation changed? Your experiences might help others planning for their future. Chapter 3. The feeling of being forgotten. When I first moved in, my family visited regularly. My daughter came every Sunday after church. My son stopped by with his kids twice a month. My grandchildren called often. For the first few weeks, I felt connected, still part of the family circle. Then life happened. My daughter got a promotion that required weekend work. My son's family moved an hour further away. The grandkids got busy with sports and school activities. Visits became calls. Calls became texts. Texts became occasional. I understand. Everyone has busy lives. But understanding doesn't make the loneliness any easier. The holidays were especially difficult. Last Thanksgiving, my family planned to pick me up for dinner at my daughter's house. The morning of, my son-in-law called. Mom's not feeling well, and we're worried about exposing you to whatever she has. We'll bring you a plate tomorrow instead. The plate arrived 3 days later. I'm not alone in this experience. The recreation room becomes a study in anticipation and disappointment. Residents dressed in their best sit near the entrance, watching the door like hawks. Some families arrive bearing gifts and smiles. Others never show. You can see the hope fade from people's eyes as visiting hours end. It's not that families stop loving you. They just stop seeing you as central to their lives. You become an obligation, a task to schedule, rather than a person to connect with. It's a painful transition. Some residents find ways to stay meaningfully connected. Marge uses video calls to join her family's Sunday dinners virtually. Robert writes old-fashioned letters to his grandchildren, who love getting mail. I started a blog with my grandson's help, sharing stories from my life that my family never knew. The facilities that recognize this issue often create programs to maintain family bonds. Ask about family integration activities, technology support for video calls, or transportation for family events before choosing a facility. Are you prepared for how your relationships might change once you're not part of daily family life? It's worth having honest conversations with loved ones about expectations and commitments before making this move. How do you maintain connections with family members who live far away? Your strategies might help others facing similar challenges in maintaining those precious bonds. 4. Loss of purpose and identity. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was just changing where I lived. I didn't realize I was also changing who I was. At home, I had responsibilities that shaped my days and gave me purpose. I volunteered at the library twice a week. I baked cookies for my church group. I was the person my neighbors called when they needed a plant watered or mail collected while they traveled. These small roles made me feel needed and valuable. In the nursing home, those roles disappeared overnight. No one needed me for anything. Meals appeared without my effort. Activities were planned without my input. Even my medications were managed by someone else. I went from being a contributor to being merely a recipient. The impact on my sense of self was profound. Without daily purpose, the days blurred together. Monday felt like Wednesday felt like Saturday. Nothing distinguished one day from another because nothing really depended on me showing up. I saw this emptiness in many residents, but none more clearly than in Howard, a retired carpenter. At home, he'd spent decades working with his hands, creating beautiful furniture for his family and neighbors. His workshop was his sanctuary. In the nursing home, his skilled hands lay idle in his lap. "I feel useless," he told me one afternoon as we watched a game show neither of us cared about. "Nobody needs anything built anymore." The psychological effects of purposelessness are well documented. Studies show that seniors with daily purpose live longer, experience less depression, and even show fewer symptoms of dementia. Our brains need meaningful engagement as much as our bodies need movement. Some innovative nursing homes are addressing this issue. One facility in Vermont created a resident contribution program where seniors teach classes in their areas of expertise. Another in Arizona has a community garden tended entirely by residents. These programs recognize that care isn't just about physical needs. If you're considering a nursing home, look for one that asks about your skills and interests during the intake process. Do they see you as a whole person with contributions to make, or just as a body to maintain? What gives your life meaning now, and how would that change in an institutional setting? The activities that define you don't have to end with a change of address, but maintaining them requires intention and support. I'd love to hear what activities give your days purpose. Your insights might help others find ways to maintain meaning through life's transitions. Privacy and dignity concerns. One of the most difficult adjustments to nursing home life was the near complete loss of privacy. I hadn't fully appreciated the luxury of solitude until it was gone. At home, my space was truly mine. I could close my bedroom door, sit in silence, or talk on the phone without an audience. I could take a shower whenever I wanted, wear whatever pajamas I chose, and arrange my belongings exactly as I preferred. In the nursing home, privacy became a rare commodity. Staff members knocked but often entered before I could answer. Room checks happened throughout the night with flashlights sweeping across my face as I tried to sleep. Even bathroom visits sometimes required leaving the door ajar so staff could monitor safety. The loss of physical privacy was difficult, but the loss of dignity was devastating. Having someone help you bathe when you've spent 80 years washing yourself changes how you see yourself. Being reminded to take medication like a child rather than a responsible adult who raised a family and managed a household for decades chips away at your self-image. My roommate situation added another layer of complexity. Doris was kind, but had different sleep schedules and television preferences. Our small shared space meant constant compromise, often at the expense of my own comfort. Not everyone is so fortunate in their roommate assignments. What many people don't realize is that nursing home residents have legal rights to privacy and dignity. The 1987 Nursing Home Reform Act established that residents have the right to personal privacy, the right to be treated with dignity, and the right to make personal choices. Yet many facilities prioritize efficiency and safety over these fundamental rights. Some residents find creative ways to advocate for themselves. Richard requested specific times for his shower when his favorite aide was working. Eleanor used a door wedge, against policy but effective, to prevent unexpected entries. I learned to be direct about my needs. Please knock and wait for my answer before entering. The best facilities balance safety concerns with respect for personal boundaries. Before choosing a nursing home, ask specific questions about privacy policies. How do they handle roommate conflicts? What options exist for private time? How do they ensure dignity during personal care? Are you prepared to give up the privacy you've had your entire life? It's a question worth serious reflection because the answer affects not just your comfort, but your sense of self. What privacy boundaries would be most important for you to maintain? Understanding your own non-negotiables helps in advocating for yourself or your loved ones in any care situation. 6. The difficulty of leaving. When I moved into the nursing home, I told myself and my family it was just a trial run. If I don't like it, I can always move back home, I said confidently. 3 years later, I'm still here, despite wanting to leave after the first month. What I didn't understand was how quickly the bridges back to independent living would burn behind me. The first barrier appeared when my son suggested renting out my house, just until you're sure about the nursing home. That temporary arrangement became permanent when the renters signed a 2-year lease. Soon after, maintenance issues arose that I couldn't handle from a distance. Eventually, selling seemed like the only logical option. With my home gone, where would I go if I left? My children's homes weren't designed for an elderly parent with growing mobility challenges. Apartments required applications, deposits, and furniture I no longer owned. The second barrier was physical. After months of having everything done for me, my strength and stamina diminished dramatically. Tasks I once handled easily, cooking, cleaning, managing medications, now seemed overwhelming. My confidence in living independently eroded with each passing month. The third barrier was financial. Medicare doesn't cover long-term nursing home care, so my savings were being depleted rapidly. After selling my house to pay for care, I had fewer resources to establish a new living situation. This financial reality is rarely discussed openly, but affects thousands of seniors. Frank, who lived down the hall, faced similar challenges. A former business owner, he moved in after a minor stroke. It was supposed to be for rehabilitation, he explained. But my condo association rented out my unit. My daughter sold my car. And now where would I go? His rehabilitation was successful, but his independence was lost. Legal and financial planning before entering a facility can make a crucial difference. Some options include setting up a home maintenance trust if you own property, creating a temporary power of attorney with clear limitations, establishing a right to return plan with family members, investigating Medicare coverage limitations before they become surprises. If you're considering a nursing home, even temporarily, are you prepared for the possibility that leaving might not be as simple as you think? Having an exit strategy before you enter could make all the difference. Have you created contingency plans for your future care needs? Your foresight might help others avoid finding themselves inadvertently trapped in a situation they never intended to be permanent. Looking back, I don't regret aging. It's a privilege. I regret not understanding what a nursing home would truly mean for my life. While these facilities serve those needing intensive care, they shouldn't be the default choice just because you're growing older. Consider in-home care, senior communities, or family care with professional support. Whatever you choose, do it with eyes wide open. Ask tough questions. Visit facilities unannounced. Talk to residents privately. Is convenience worth what you might lose? Only you can answer that. But I hope my experience helps you make the right decision for your unique situation.